Hi and welcome to our channel Alpha Production. We are here in Australia. In Australia we have the different communities, and we have also the African community having different activities happening right here in Queensland. In Queensland we have the Queensland African Community Council, QACC. Part of the activities that are running by the QACC, we have the youth centers. In Brisbane, we have a couple of centers that are already operational, and one of them is the REDBANK Youth Center, African Youth Center. We have right here the core center manager of the African Youth Center of REDBANK. Welcome.
Thank you.
Can you introduce yourself to our viewers who are just watching this channel of Alpha Production Australia?
Absolutely. So my name is ABIBA ANDREA, and I'm the co-center manager here at the African Youth Center, REDBANK Plains. I've been here since it started, so one of the people who established and got this place up and running.
Right. So you have been here since the beginning, since day one. Can you tell us a little bit how was that opening ceremony? Who attended this ceremony? Who conducted that opening ceremony of this youth center, African Youth Center in REDBANK?
The center was, so obviously the first time of the official opening, we had to cancel it due to COVID. So we postponed it, and we had about maybe close to 200 people attending the event. We had a lot of speeches from different politicians, some service providers as well, who worked very closely with, and a lot of community members who've attended. It was a very large event here that we hosted.
So the QACC hosted that event, and also the officials coming. So those officials were coming from the state government or the federal government?
State, federal, and local as well, government.
Oh, state, federal, and locals. So among them, who was the main guest?
So we had Senator Paul Qacc, we had Honourable Leanne Leonard, who was one of the opening. We also had Lance McCallum MP. Those were like a lot of the main politicians that we had here. Then we've also had some people from corrections as well, and from executive directors of the juvenile detention centers.
So you are talking, that's very, very interesting when you are talking about the corrective centers. So what is the relation that QACC is putting in place in collaboration with the corrective centers? Can you tell us a little bit about that before we move back to the center?
Yeah, sure. So our relationships with the corrective centers is we work with some of our community members who are currently incarcerated, or in other words, who are locked up. So we go there and do a few things with them while they're in there. Recently, early this year, we've had an Africa Day event celebration inside the jail. So we have a very strong bond. So we try to keep the people in there connected with the community members out here as well. So in the corrective center, you organized that such big event, which was the African Day celebration. How was excited to see the African youth involving in the organizing of such event inside of the corrective center? It was really exciting. It was good to see, because we got to give credit to the correctional centers, because they put most of it together, and we brought the community. So it was really good to see a lot of them involved, and they took lead in the day of the event. They performed, and a lot of these men that are in there, they don't really see community members as much visiting. So it was a day to never forget, honestly. For you had to be there in order to see how amazing it was. There was about 50 community members from outside the community who actually went into the correction center. Some of them never been into a prison before, so they don't know what a prison system in Australia looks like. So it was good for them, first time to see and understand, you know, the way some of our members are in there living. So yeah, it was a good experience.
Yeah, a good experience. But what was your feeling when you saw those community members, and also the excitement that they had after having that party and then enjoying their activities? Because when someone is in jail, they lose hope. You know, they lose connection with the external world. I can say like this. So, what was your feeling when you had that connection with the community members in the corrective centers?
My feeling, because I've been there a few times before that event, so I was used to being in there. But I could see with the community members who have attended, you can definitely see the connection and the joy in terms of knowing that some of these people are in there, are their families, and just looking at them outside from what they're in there for. I think they're humans at the end of the day, regardless of what they've done. We still have to treat them. They're still our brothers in there. So it was really good to see the connection. It was good to see the inmates smiling and just finally just being connected with their own, you know, because they don't get that in there. So some of the community members that are actually known to some of these men that are in there, you can see that connection being built again. And afterwards, a lot of members did ask, how can we continue supporting them? And I think that's the most crucial part that I took out, is just that wanting that continuous support and, you know, making them feel like they are still part of the community, because they are, you know, regardless of where they are, they're still our families, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's interesting. And then when the after seeing the commitment of the African communities members, joining them and then coming to support them directly, is there any achievement in terms of changing of behavior?
There definitely has been, even before the event began, because leading up to the Africa Day event, a lot of these, like I said earlier, the inmates were the ones that actually made that event possible and made that event the way it was. So you can see the excitement and the wanting to belong and connect with their cultural roots led up to that, and it all showed on the day of the event. Yeah. So I think you can see the changes. You can see even the corrective officers have seen the changes in their behavior as well, you know, because they've become more calm and become more connective, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. So the people behind the scene will give us this, and then we come back to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. So for those that don't know me, my name is ABIBA ANDREA, and I'm based in Ipswich. I won't talk too much, so I'll just get straight into it. So for those that don't know what restorative justice conferencing is, it's an order that's given by the courts for the perpetrator and the victim to restore a positive relationship. So with my experience throughout the restorative justice conferencing, I have been honored by a lot of young people who have requested me to sit into those conferencing. Those conferencing can be very, very difficult and tough to talk about, because the young person actually speaks about their crime and what they have done and the emotional impact that has caused the victim, but also for themselves too, for them to realize what they have done and how they feel about it. So I've been honored enough to sit into a few of those conferences. And for me, those conferences is all about building a strong rapport, but the young people have to trust you. You know, I've sat in conferences where the convener was an African, young person was an African, but that trust that that young person had with the convener was not there. So they weren't open enough about the situation or how they really felt about what they have done. So after that conference, the young person actually explained that to me and said, I don't trust that person. I didn't want to say everything. I'm like, so why are you speaking to me now? You know, because the purpose of those conferencing is for you to be open and honest, you know, so that we can, you know, have that so we can work out how we can move forward, you know. So this allowed me to build that rapport with the young people and understand how I can work with them moving forward, you know, not just in the system but also when they're out in the community.
It's very huge, as a lot of conversations around what they have done is very sensitive, and they need to have that trust within you, and also they need to be able to trust you at a certain level for you to sit into that conferencing. With that conference, not everybody attends that, so there's a few people who are highly recommended besides the facilitator who facilitates the conference, but sometimes the parents of the young person. In this case, I've been in conferences where there's young people who didn't want their parents to come and sit in those conferences, so they've requested cultural support from outside in the community. So being a part of these conferences have taught me to build a strong rapport for the young people, and for them to have these conversations around what they have done and speak about their crimes in a very sympathetic manner. It's really interesting to see, because I think the most important thing I took out of this was really taking the time to listen to why they did what they did, because in the moment of their actions they may have not realized what they have done, but when they reflect and go back and actually understand what they've done, you kind of tend to unpack what is really going on with that young person in particular. Guys, for your listening.
Thank you, ABIBA.
We are back here now with ABIBA, who is the co-center manager of the African Youth Center in REDBANK. So we have been talking about the activities, the initiative, the mentoring that she was doing in the corrective center. And as you saw on those short videos, the feedback that they provided to the attendee of the opening center, of the opening of the new center. So we have a part of this center, REDBANK Center. We have also how many centers that we have actually operational in this one?
We've got 3 centers currently running. This center has been open since last year. Since last year, and then we've just recently opened the 2 new centers, one in Jibang Northside and one in Maruka.
One in Jibang and one in Maruka. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel Alpha Production. If it's the first time, just subscribe, like and comment. That will be very, very important to let us grow in our activities. We are just supporting the African community in Australia. So now let us talk about this REDBANK Center. What kind of activities that youth can benefit within the activities that you are running here? What type of activities are you running right here in this?
So we've got homework clubs that happen here Monday to Friday. So young people from any ages, any school age really, could be up to primary school all the way up to university, so anyone who's studying and needs a space. So we've got that running. We've also got a lot of recreational activities that go on here, pool table, table tennis, we've got Xbox, we've got a recording studio in process, so we've got a lot of things that go on. We've also got Friday night youth groups where young people come together, run different activities, could be just simple as watching movies or game nights. Then we've got our Sun's Chills where if you need help with resumes as well, we've got support for that. So there's quite a lot that happens in here, depending on your flavor, depending on, because we know that young people age varies, but also, you know, people are interested in what they want to do. So we've got a variety of activities for everyone.
Various activities for everyone. I know that they use you who are just watching this video. You have strength, you have energy, you have knowledge, you have that leadership in you. You have to express actually what is your inside, and then you can express it. It depends on which industry you are, and then any call for those youth who don't know that we have such activities in this African Youth Center?
Yeah, we always, so we've got the website, we've also got an Instagram page as well, so you can actually check out the activities that is running all over the place, so here and also in the other centers as well. Specifically here, we do have we're really on the main streets, you know, so if you do live around REDBANK Plains and heading towards Toowoomba side, Goodna, towards Brisbane side, and you take the highway, you usually pass our center. So feel free to pop in. You know, we always encourage any tutors. You know, if you're a tutor and you know, or you're starting to be a teacher, this is a great experience for you to come and actually help with some of the homeworks with the kids, and putting your knowledge into practice. Yeah.
Don't forget to share this information to your community members. Don't keep this information for yourself. So we have we can summarize that we have 3 big African villages in Brisbane. 1 in REDBANK, where we are right now. 2, there is another one, the second one in Qacc, north side of Brisbane, and also Muruka. You know, Muruka is a well-known place in Brisbane where people are coming from all around Australia to come to find African style here in Australia, in Brisbane. So we are almost at the end of this show. Do you have anything to say, any encouragement to the youth?
Yeah, sure.
To be connected? What advice can you tell them?
Yeah, so these centers are for us, you know. It's for us, made by us as well, you know. So it's very important that we stay connected and support one another and ensure that we're not just, you know, being isolated. You know, we are all one, and that's something that within our community we are big at, unity, you know. So let's actually use that, and our children are the next generation. So we need to make sure that we are nourishing them and feeding them into these things that are happening, so that way they can grow and take over, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very, very important for our viewer, you are just watching this show now. We are African and we live here in Australia. We didn't close our hands that, okay, we are in a foreign country, let us just do whatever that this new community is say that we have to do. But the effort that have been put in place, the leadership of the African leaders, to have our own centers. Since I came to Australia, we didn't have any center like this. But I beg the youth to be connected to the youth centers. The youth center, we call them right at the moment, African Village. You have to express, you have to learn also what is Africa. But we have also some youth born here in Australia, originally from Africa, but they don't know how Africa looks like. If you have any question, any concern about what is happening in Africa, join or be connected to one of the centers. If you live in Ipswich area, you have the REDBANK Youth Center. If you live in Logan, Brisbane, you have Muruka. Everybody living in Brisbane, they know Muruka. But if you live in the north side of Brisbane, you have Qacc. So the address of those centers, the people behind the scene will give us just the address. That is number 1, this one is number 2, and that one is number 3. You can choose one of them. You can go here in REDBANK, you can go in Muruka, or you can go in Qacc. Connect with the community, the managers of these communities, and join the team, the youth, and then you can do any kind of activities that you would like to do and to show what you are able to do and what you are able to give to the community. Thank you very much, ABIBA. It was a pleasure to have the co-manager of the youth center here in REDBANK. We have been talking about the different activities that are running in this center. If it's the first time, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Your comments are welcome, and we need to grow this initiative. If you have also you need also to be part of the media team of the African community, feel free to give us a call. This is our number, our contact number is there, and then you will be most welcome. We wish you all the best. Any words, any greetings to the people?
Hello, and please come reach out, you know, come. You know, you'll never know what's in store for you as well, you know, so please do.
Okay, ABIBA is from the South Sudan.
Yeah.
I'm from the Democratic Republic of Congo. A word to your members in your language.
In my language?
Yeah.
Inini, important.
Yeah. We are at the end of this show. It was a pleasure to have ABIBA, who is the co-manager center of REDBANK Youth Center, which is one of the African village here in Brisbane. If you have any concern, any comment, and any contact detail, any contact number, if the youth living in this region, Ipswich region, would like to give a call to contact the center.
I will leave that with you. I'll send that to you so you can put it onto the script there. So if they need reach out.
Okay. Thank you very much for watching this video, and we wish you all the best. See you next time. Bye-bye.